This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Naimbag grabi, masanto siya sa labi itsayo kayo amin, maya pa beng ikeka, maupay nga gabi hayo nga tanan dinha, marahin na banggi sa Indugabos, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, maayong gabi sa Tibok Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, up to Sabah. Ako si Eric Espina, mauni ang inyong nagkainusang republika. Tonight, our guest will be all voices, pillars from Mindanao. And it is only rightful that we have gotten voices which are not even part of the considerations of what is supposed to be an inclusive, comprehensive peace agreement under this government. But we are giving them the necessary importance because these are people of import, of experience, and of wisdom. First and foremost, I'd like to mention a former member of parliament, governor of Misamis Oriental, none other than Governor HOMOBONO ADAZA. We have next to him, former governor of Tawi-Tawi, vice president for Mindanao League of Provincial Governor, Administrator, Southern Philippines Development Authority, President Parhim Punan Sin Islam, and Wazir Sultanate of Sulu and North Borneo. We have Governor TILLAH. And next, a familiar face, we have gotten him again in order to be able to be, not, I don't want to say partial, but impartial about the entire discussion because they are never considered in the entire discussion. We have Abraham IDJIRANI, the Secretary General of the Sultanate of Sulu. I'd just like to acknowledge, gentlemen, Krimen ug Drugas, a Cebu Catholic Television Network, CCT, and Channel 47, under Attorney Paul Waminal's program. This will also be seen. And to all the GSET viewers, good evening to all of you. The title of our program is Bangsa-Milf Basic Law. Is that an unfair statement? Can you castigate me for using this title as Bangsa-Milf Basic Law? Anybody can answer. Manong?
I'd like to hear our friends here first.
Okay. Nagkakahiyaan. The voices of Mindanao are like debutants. Yes.
I agree with the title, Eric.
Okay.
Because as far as other stakeholders in Mindanao are concerned, they are not participants to the process.
Okay.
And no less than the president, the former president of the Philippines, had said that the kind of law that it must be implemented in Mindanao must be inclusive. Because let us forget of who are the three dominant tribes in Mindanao, Sulu, and Palawan. But let us talk about who are the three dominant populations in Mindanao.
Okay.
The Christians, the the indigenous people who are Bangsa-Lumad, and the Muslims.
Okay.
Are they part of the process?
Okay.
The answer is no. Now, it is just fitting to use that term because the framework agreement on the Bangsamoro were formulated and drafted in Kuala Lumpur.
Okay.
It seems that there was the presence of external forces that influenced the making of the now basic law now in the hands of the two houses of Congress, the House of Representatives and the House of Senate.
To be specific, when you say Kuala Lumpur, you're talking about Putrajaya.
Putrajaya, yes.
I hope you better say that properly, or it might sound something else. Putrajaya. Okay. Governor Altilla.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Yes.
The pursuit of peace process, peace in southern Mindanao,
Yes.
has been done several stages
Yes.
for almost, I think, half a century now.
Yes.
The Triple Agreement,
Yes.
Jeddah Accord, the Jakarta-Manila Accord, and now the Bangsa-Moro.
Yes.
We have always been committed to the pursuit of peace.
Yes.
But you see, peace has to be qualified. Is it peace with justice, or even the title of your program,
Or is it peace just with the MILF?
whatever, but because insofar as the main Tausug community,
Yes.
which is the warrior side
Yes.
of this, the Muslim society,
Yes.
they never call themselves Bangsa-Moro.
Okay.
Since the Sultanate, even before that, we call ourselves Bangsa-Suluk,
Okay.
not Bangsa-Moro.
Okay.
No. Having said that, it has something to do with many of the provisions in the peace agreement.
Yes.
Specifically, the Sulu Sea being renamed or converted, I don't know what is the legal term they had, as a Bangsa-Moro Sea.
Yes.
I think not only historians, political scientists, and inhabitants of this area
Yes.
will be very, very sad about this.
Okay.
And I don't know how others will take it.
It will be a travesty. Yes. Manong, I use the title Bangsa-MILF Basic Law. Am I therefore correct to conclude, logically, that if you are all in agreement that this will be a Bangsa-MILF Basic Law, that the outcome will be a Bangsa-MILF political entity, therefore?
True. And you hit it by the bullseye. You know, I
Yes.
wanted to listen to
Yeah.
my two friends here
Yes.
first, because they come from the region.
Yes.
And to begin with, this Bangsa-Moro proposal, the basic law, which is 122 pages, by the way,
Yes.
in long bond paper.
And 18 articles.
And 18
plus
articles.
preamble.
This must have been written by someone who is not a Filipino.
Okay.
Because first, whoever wrote it is ignorant of the Philippine Constitution.
Okay.
He does not know his Constitution.
Okay.
And it's only a non-Filipino who knows nothing about the Constitution. Second, if it was written by a Filipino, I think his head should be examined.
Okay.
He needs a psychiatrist.
Uh-huh.
Because many of the articles, many of the provisions are in concrete violation of the Constitution.
Uh-huh.
Collision course with the Constitution. How could a Filipino who is sane write this particular Bangsa-Moro proposal? And it means that they have not really consulted everybody in Mindanao. You know, the fate of Mindanao has to be brought about by total consultation of everyone from Mindanao. Everyone in Mindanao is stakeholder, even if it's a creation of a Bangsa-Moro MILF.
Yes.
Because it affects us. The first thing that will be taken into consideration is the majority there will say, why should a small group have more rights than the majority?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why should a small group have more rights than the Tausug? Why should a small group have more rights than the other Muslim tribes in Mindanao? These are questions which immediately violate the Equal Protection Clause of our Constitution under Section 1.
As a government,
Article 3.
what message are we sending that we are ready to negotiate with people who are armed as against majority who are peace-loving?
Yeah. The message to me and other people
Yes.
is we should start arming. So this Pinoy will negotiate with us. That's the message they're trying to say.
Second, the next question is, the war in Mindanao now is coming out is because of the issue of Sabah and because of Putrajaya and Malaysia. And yet, front to this Bangsa-MILF draft law is precisely negating the very beginnings of this revolution that started, which was Sabah. Why?
Not only that, Eric. No? There is one point which is very insulting and embarrassing.
Yes.
It's embarrassing to the armed forces of the Philippines
Okay.
that they are inutil, incompetent,
Okay.
and will follow this Pinoy, President Pinoy,
Yes.
to the ends of the earth, even if he has the wrong reasons.
It's a good thing you're Cebuano. You say it Pinoy, gahi og dila, no?
Oh, pero-
Because if you're Tagalog, it would be Penoy.
Ganun ba?
Yes, Pinoy, okay.
No, there is a term also
Okay.
in Cebuano
Oo.
which they use in our area describing him. But
Okay.
I don't like to mention it
Okay.
because it might be libelous.
Okay, I have two questions for our two guests. I have here, so that the public will see, a complete full-page ad paid for by taxpayers' money by the Office of the Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process. It's a question and answer on the Basic Law. So you can see that there is documentary evidence. Exhibit 1 submitted, Your Honor. Okay, the one question that the OPAP came out is who are the Bangsa-Moro people? And this is the way they answered it. And you can come up with the rejoinder. Okay, those who at the time of the conquest and colonization were considered natives or original inhabitants of Mindanao and the Sulu archipelago and its adjacent islands including Palawan and their spouses and descendants. Now here is the kulatilla. Who have identified themselves as Bangsa-Moro. What happens if you don't identify yourselves as Bangsa-Moro? You are therefore excluded?
Well, first of all, at the time of conquest,
Yes.
the
were
Tausugs,
never conquered.
we were never conquered,
Yes.
nor subdued.
Yes.
We never surrendered to any authority from the Spanish conquistadores in the
Yes.
American period.
Yes.
And even our own government, they still
Yes.
continue to fight.
Yes.
So how can we now be included in that phraseology at the time of conquest?
Okay.
Because if we agree with that, then we admit that we have been conquered. And we stand on the historical record that we have never been conquered nor subdued.
By the way, Al, you are not the only tribe that has not been conquered
Yes.
in Mindanao. I belong also to a tribe that has never been conquered by the colonizers until today.
Bangsa-Loma.
External or internal conquest.
What tribe is
Higaunon.
Higaunon.
I'm
Okay.
Higaunon.
Okay.
Now,
Now this part, who have identified themselves as Bangsa-Moro. So if you don't identify as Bangsa-Moro, you are not included here?
first, Eric, if you are going to put a timeline
Okay.
in history, that word conquest now suits the using of the terminology Bangsa-Moro. Because the original people in the archipelago of Sulu, for instance, Manong, ADAZA, were Bangsa-Suluk people.
Okay.
So that if we apply that kind of definition, then the Bangsa-Suluk people must be free from the influence and coverage of this basic Bangsa-Moro Basic Law.
Okay.
Because the Bangsa-Suluk people up to now has not been conquered, and the epitome and the symbol of their being unconquered, my apology to you and Manong ADAZA,
Yes.
is that we are still saying La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah.
Okay. Which means?
Which means that there is no God except Allah, and
Of
Prophet
course.
Muhammad is the messenger of God.
Of course.
Because had the Bangsa-Suluk people been conquered,
Okay.
then it would be precise to say that the Muslim ended at the time in 1578 when the first Spanish invasion was done, executed in the province of Sulu.
Actually, if we take that is the Shahada, we will become Muslims as well with Manong Bono, no?
That's right. In fact, I take that oath.
Correct?
I agree with
Am I right? Am I right?
I agree with Manong Bono.
Instantaneously, we become Muslims if we take that oath.
I like, Eric, I like the smile in your face.
But
Okay.
Eric,
Okay.
I'd like to say that what is the timeline of history when the terminology Bangsa-Moro was used?
Okay.
It was in 1968 when the first act of the Malaysian government intervened in the internal affairs of the Philippines after the breakout of the Jabida massacre.
So it's the Malaysian government rearing